Here we go. Okay. So, hi everyone. I want to welcome you to my first episode of the Unchokable'u podcast. And today my guest is Serop Waswassarian. Serop Waswassarian is my father-in-law, and he has definitely the unchokable mindset that I want to share with the world. Before we get started with Serop, or as I like to call him, Gesuhaitis, which is father-in-law in Armenian, I want to tell you a little bit about what my intention for this podcast is. So my intent is to use other people's stories that they either learned or earned to help my audience and myself to learn techniques that they can use so we can train repeatedly and use our mental jujitsu to fight life's battles instead of using our emotions so that we can have more positive outcomes. So I want to welcome Serop to our podcast today. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me today. My name is Serop Waswassarian. You said that. Born 1940, August 10, in Aleppo, Syria. We moved to Canada 1973, 76. We come to Canada. And then we start working, the kids going to school, especially Huri and Khachik.
Okay, that's amazing. So I wanted to give a little bit of background on how we met. So we met when Huri introduced us, and what I remember is that first of all, we our first meeting didn't go very well. You know, we met and Huri had said, "Hi, this is my boyfriend Raul, and by the way, I'm moving out and I'm pregnant." And what happened was we had been together for a while, but we what why I'm telling this story is because now we've known each other for 17 years, and although we had a rough beginning, most of it really was my fault for how I used to behave and how I used to act. What happened was, you know, I grew to love and respect you, and what I want to share with the world is that you have gone through some tough times in your life. First of all, back home in Armenia, and also currently with situations that are going on now. So what I want to ask you is, before you came to Canada, can you tell me a little bit about how life was growing back home it was in Armenia, or were you in
In
Lebanon
Lebanon.
for a bit?
In Lebanon was civil war. That's why everybody start the Christian fighting against the Muslims. Muslim fighting against this, that. That means civil war is not good. Everybody start move to Europe, to United States and Canada. We got the chance, we got the visa to emigrate to Canada. But whatever belongs to, first you said, when Huri introduced me, this is my boyfriend. You know that what's happened, that is against our religion. We know people married and then after got the kids. This way come opposite. Without married, come the kids. You know,
Yes,
that is the one.
yes, I understand, and it must have been very hard. It must have been very hard.
Yes, very hard to survive up. But you know, I love my daughter more than anything. That's why I swell up. Just like aspirin, I took aspirin.
Like aspirin, yes, I understand. And I'm very happy and to say I understand that as a father now myself, right? Father to your beautiful grandchildren, I understand that how protective you must have been, how deep your religion, your faith, your values were, and what we were going what we were doing was going against your values, and how hard that must have been for you.
Excuse me. When we come to Canada, they are very, Huri was 6 months old. She was 6 months old, and Chris is 2 years old. That's why grow up in Canada, the mentality come Canadian mentality. Everything come Canadian.
Okay,
And then,
so
you know, after that, you come, when she grow up, you know about her, and then you come in our family, you come one of the part family.
so can
What
I want
else?
yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. Sorry, I wanted to ask you. Well, what was when you grew up back home? How was life back there? Was it difficult at first, and then the war came, or was there all you knew was war?
Before war, the Lebanon is the Paris of the Middle East. You got the work, you got the money, you got the everything. You got the sea to swimming, you got the snow to skating. You know, very beautiful country, very beautiful. You can't find just like Lebanon somewhere in the world. Believe me, who knows the Lebanon can tell you, prove that. That's why when civil war started, everybody moved.
What year did it start?
Civil war start. Sorry, you want ayo. Ukam vidikam si ukam gorima gesir. Che veche yes. Che. Come gor. Hadi bye. Sorry.
No worries. Okay, don't worry. We can edit that part. Don't worry.
Ah,
Yeah, just make sure put it on mute. Give it to them to put it on mute.
yes. Wait.
Okay.
Okay. The civil war start 1975, April 17, April 13. The Palestinians got with the bus, and then somebody shoot the Palestinians, happen bomb this, that, start the whole area burning. The Christian and Muslim fight. The Christian is come with Israel, the Muslims was with the Palestinians, and that start that way. And then when our building hit too many times with rockets, and then we renew the concrete, every hole just like this with the rockets. You can't live. That's why we moved to Canada.
And what was the process? What did you have to do to come to Canada, and how long did it take for you to come, and how was the journey difficult for you? Tell me a little bit about the journey from when you decided to come to Canada, how long it took, and tell me a little bit about that journey, please.
See, that time, many countries opened the doors for refugees. We come immigrant. Canada at that time taking immigrant. My brother's wife, all family was in Canada. My brother came Canada and then apply to all the family go back. And then first my brother with his wife, his son came Canada. After me, my wife and my mom, we come to Canada. That time we got Huri 6 months old and Chris 1.5 years old, 2 years old. And then after start new life here.
It paused.
Lines. After that, start my job.
Sorry, 1 second. What? 1 second. It froze for a bit. Can you hear me? Okay, it froze. So just go. So when you came here, right? The computer froze for a bit. So when you came,
Okay.
so yeah. So your brother, everybody was here, and then it froze. So okay, if you can just say
And
that part
then
again.
we come to Canada, start working painter, just paint walls. That time there is the Woolworth store. Now that store not exist anymore. We painting the lines. There is red lines, blue lines. That's we did. After that, to start my business, I was draftsman. We find some offices, they want draftsman and start working draftsman. And Echer welcome retired. Now I am retired man. I have loving 6 grandkids. That's why my all riches. I am very rich with that. Right, Uri? Right, Sime?
So I just want to go back a little bit before we continue to life over here. Sometimes when we would have family over, I would hear about some stories from back home, and there was a story about, and I thought it was you, but I think it was your father, because one of the things that I want my audience to know is, what kind of history Armenia went through, right? I know we don't have like years and years, but what are the kind of the stories that your parents, when you grew up, that they told you about what happened, without having any anger towards any other countries, just with, we understand that there was a genocide that happened in Armenia, and but personally speaking, with what were some of the stories that you grew up that your parents told you? I know that there was one in particular about, how, I think it was your dad or your mom, as a kid, they were trying to escape and they had to hide under dead bodies. If you can tell me more about that story, that would be amazing.
See, my father born in Malatya, and then my grandmother was with my father. She got 6 kids, 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. The Turks that time, Osmanian Turks, goes in the home, kill 2 boys and 2 girls, hitting on the floor, on the tree, because they got long hair. Only escape, my father was 2 years old. my grandmother, he put the son under the died bodies to cover up. And then they told me almost 1.5 million Armenian massacre in 1915 to 1917, 18, at 20. This has happened to our, but we don't hate nobody. Should recognize that what's happened. And then this is very easy to say. You got 5 kids in front of your eyes. They catch the girls from the air and hit the trees to kill. That is very hard, very hard.
I understand. I understand. So then that the ones that they killed would have been your aunts or other girls.
What's Chasa?
You said the girls that they killed in front of your mom and stuff. They weren't your family. They
Yeah,
were
my aunt,
your
my
aunt,
father got 2
sisters. Yeah,
brother, 2 sisters.
yeah,
My grandma got 5 kids.
yeah.
My
And
father, 2 girls, 2 boys. All 3 boys, 2 girls. 2 girls, 2 boys killed
killed.
that
Okay.
way.
Yes.
Only my father escaped all this problem.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
But my father died early, was 51 years old when died.
And that's they. So you were born in Armenia or you were born in
I
Lebanon?
born in Aleppo, Syria.
In Syria. Okay.
My father born in Malatya, Turkey. That's Armenian land. You're talking 5,000 years.
Yes.
But today, Turks come and sitting there.
Okay. Okay. And then when you grew up in Syria, how long were you in Syria?
I was 16 years old when we moved to Lebanon, 1956. My father got cancer, got big operation in the American University of Beirut hospital. We moved to the Beirut, Lebanon. And we live there, we married there, we come here. Now we are old man.
Sorry. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. We're good. Sorry, it just froze. Okay, so what I want to talk about is, so how if anything was life difficult here in Canada? Was life difficult at all for you, or did it take a while for you to get accustomed?
Raul, very difficult. New area, new mentality, new people, new everything new. You're gonna start beginning new. That's give me a hard time.
So this is exactly why I wanted to interview you, because in my podcast, what I want to do is I want people to understand, there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something hard. We have to make a change. You had to make a change because you were forced to. You had to make a change because your family had to survive, or else you would have been stuck in the war that was happening there. So my question is what are the things that you did in order to make sure that you were, first of all, successful here, right? Like what are the things that you tried? I know that you had some a business or two. I know that you worked, as I believe an architect. Were you an architect or
Draftsman,
a draftsman? Sorry, yes, a draftsman, right? So what is it that was it that you because of your background, you were willing to try anything and everything so that your family, can you came to this country so that they can have a better life. Were you what was your mentality like?
Mentality was because of there is civil war, not because of this country or that country much better. Civil war, that means you're gonna die or you're gonna move. We move. We took the kids and we moved to Canada to give them nice future. And thanks to God, everybody okay. I got the diploma from the Beirut for drafting, not here. I never learned here drafting. I was there. I went to college and then I got the big diploma.
Diploma, yeah, you got a big diploma, yes.
Okay, I guess this kind of interview we can give another day also.
No, we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish.
Finish, I should go.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna finish. So I wanna like 5 more minutes, okay? But thank you. Okay, so okay, so my thing is this, right? I want to ask you, okay, so now you have another challenge in front of your life, right? Now, today, you yourself are battling through cancer,
Yes.
right? So my thing is I see you as one of the strongest men that I know, right? Because how many times have you had operations and how many?
Mr. Raul, Mr. Chavez, I got 2 big major operation. The first, right lungs got the 3/4 gone because of cancer. That is year 2000, June. And after 15 years, another cancer start the left side, got the 1/4, half cut. Altogether now I have 3/4 lung. Plus I got bladder cancer.
Yes.
And then everything under control. Thanks to God, I am taking too many medicines. Here, the doctor, the hospitals, perfect. Especially OIB is perfect. The government paying everything. After now, I'm 81 years old man. Still, I am living. Thanks to God.
Thanks to God.
But
so,
you need always power to fight. The fight against the cancer, against everything, the bad. Only you're gonna fight.
Okay. That was going to be my last question. My last question was, what would be one mental jiu-jitsu technique that you would use? Remember, we talked about this before. I said, so your technique would be use your power to fight against everything. That's what you would recommend for anybody going through a difficult time is use your power that you have to fight anything and everything and difficult moments that you are going through life.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely right.
Okay. So I want to thank you, Gesuhaitis, for being my very first guest to this. You are my very first guest, and this was such an amazing experience. So I wish you many years more. Keep on fighting. You are a great example. I am very privileged because I see how you're fighting, and I can't have any excuses. My grandchildren have the privilege to grow up in the same house and see how strong you are, and they have no excuses. I am so happy that we have been able to be a family and spend more time together under these circumstances of COVID and grow closer together.
Thank you very much you having me.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Anytime.
Bye bye.
I am ready. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. And stop. Okay, hold on. All right, so hi everybody. So I just want to say what an amazing experience that was to have as my first guest, my father-in-law. Um, I I am very very honored to have met this man because he shows the true heart of a fighter. He has been living with cancer for many years now, and I always see, man, this man is the strongest man that I know. He keeps on fighting. He's been in the hospital many, many times, and he keeps on coming back stronger than ever. We can all learn a lesson from this. Use your power to keep fighting. We look for examples of other people of celebrity status on Instagram, that they are insta famous, Facebook. But sometimes we have our best examples right underneath our roof. I want to help people change their lives because I learned from other people, and I want to use other people's stories to ignite ignite that thought in their head, that thought in your head that, hey, if that person can do it, then I can do it. If my father-in-law can come from another country that was the Paris of the world, of the Middle East, sorry, and living through great times and have his whole life disrupted, not by choice, but by circumstances, and having to start over and raise a young family in a new country, then what is stopping you or me from being able to be successful in whatever we want to do? This is my new beginning. Today is Unchokable You. He's just saying bye to everybody. He has an appointment to go to. But today is podcast number 1 for the Unchokable You podcast. My background and what changed my life was Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And I've learned to become unchokable. And I want you to not let life circumstances and what other people think and what other people try to do to bring you down, not let you restrain you or hold you back. You're going to learn techniques on this show that are going to help you, and you have to repeat them. You have to train them every day. That's how I got better at jiu-jitsu, and I'm still learning. After 11 years, I'm not even a black belt yet, because every day is a learning experience. Every day I learn something new. But the only way that have become successful, and I'm not successful yet financially, but I'm successful in becoming calm, centered in that peace, and changing my life from a life that was full of drinking and drugs and poor mental health to one of and one of a poverty mindset to one of an abundance mindset. I have more than I need today. I look at the world as full of opportunities instead of looking at the world as obstacles that are holding me back from being the person that I was meant to be. Every day, I am using mental jiu-jitsu to figure out more positive outcomes. I will share with you some of my techniques, but I really want you to learn from other people's techniques. The only way we're going to get better at anything is by having somebody who has already gone through those steps or on that path teach us. We can learn from trial and error, but the best and easiest way is to have somebody who has already gone through that suffering lead you and pull you up. I want to create an amazing community. And I want mental jiu-jitsu to be as common as a word as Insta famous. If we took our mental health as seriously as we do our physical health, then we would have such a better world. If we could post every day and say, I'm feeling fulfilled, and get 1 million views from that, instead of seeing some girl or guy showing off their body and not seeing what kind of substance that they have. We are more. We are more than our physical beings. I want to thank you for joining me on episode number 1 of the Unchokable podcast. Sending you all light and love. Wishing you all amazing mental health. And as we bow out in jiu-jitsu, we always end it with us. So please share this with anyone that you feel that it will add value to their life. Subscribe where you can subscribe, and just show up and take actions on that technique that you've learned. Again, us.